A lot of people don't realize this, but Reddit is one of the most trafficked websites in the world with over 1 billion monthly visitors, and that trend is only continuing to grow. This is in direct correlation with consumer trust in general being down and people going to open source communities like Reddit to find unbiased answers or opinions on certain products or services, or even different things that people want to try. There are so many different niches and sub-niches within Reddit that you can find. And this is very often where a lot of people will go to get that pure, unfiltered, unbiased information in a space where everywhere else they go to online, they feel like they can't trust, right? Because they feel like they're trying to be sold to or marketed to. And they know if they go to Reddit, they can get real answers from real people. So how do you capitalize on and use Reddit for your business? Well, one of the most important things you do need to do, this doesn't mean you need to start posting on Reddit, but you do need to be intimately aware of the conversations happening on Reddit within your particular niche, within your target audience, and within your industry. One of the easiest ways to do this is to go onto Reddit and just type in anything to do with your niche, with your industry, with your target audience, and type it into the Reddit search bar and look for relevant subreddits that you can explore. You will then inevitably find a bunch of questions relating to the products or the services that you sell, and you just want to keep an eye on the dialogue and the discourse that's happening around these particular things. Because let's say, for example, what we very often see is there are businesses that might be selling a certain product or service, and maybe that service has recently been mentioned on a podcast, and that podcast has sparked a load of conversations happening on Reddit. And this is very often going to be picked up. And one of the things, again, that a lot of people don't realize here, but AI platforms, so services like ChatGPT, Gemini, they will actually use Reddit because it comes up very highly organically in search engines to source for potential answers and input. So if somebody is typing in whether they should use, or they're asking an AI search whether they should use a particular product or service, a lot of these answers are going to be sourced from Reddit. So it's really important you know what discussions are happening. So in your marketing, you can tackle these things. If there are particular doubts or fears or concerns or frustrations that people have about the particular industry you're in, about the particular product or service that you're selling, then you need to be addressing this in your marketing messaging. Because if you end up sounding like all of your competitors and doing the same thing as everything else with your marketing, when there's this discourse happening online that you're just not aware of, you will find your marketing drops off a cliff. I've seen this so many times over the past few years where businesses have had amazing growth and growth has then just started to drop off a cliff. And when we've actually done research behind the scenes, we found countless YouTube videos, podcasts, Reddit threads, and other communities online that have started to really just tear these particular industries or these products into pieces, right? And because that business or that brand isn't addressing it, they just get left behind. You have to understand that if you're running ads anywhere on the internet, very often people aren't going to just buy directly from that ad or inquire directly from that ad. What people will usually do is you will plant that seed from the ad, and they will then go onto Google to do their own research and to do their due diligence. And that is where platforms like Reddit come in. And again, this is why it's really important that you're just aware of those discussions so you can address the fears, the concerns, the doubts early on in your marketing, so it's not coming later when individuals, consumers find that information and then decide not to buy. Now, if you do decide to start using Reddit for marketing, one of the main things you'll want to know is that you do not want to try to market on Reddit. It might sound like a strange thing, but if you can be focused on delivering value, you will see much better results, because Redditors, users of Reddit, generally just hate any form of advertising or marketing. So if you can show up in these relevant subreddits and actually just give value and just connect with the community instead of just trying to promote yourself, you will see much better long-term success. I actually did a very detailed step-by-step walkthrough video on how to do this that I'll link to somewhere around this video.